Okay, so I got my problem from the notes. I know that, oops, my bad. It has to be a fraction. Yeah, I got it from my notes, and I know that it has to be a fraction. I don't know how to solve it. Like, I know that you have to solve it and make it a fraction, but yeah. So I don't know what my first step is. How do I solve the fraction?
Okay, so this is my problem. I got it from my notes, and I don't get anything. All I know is I have to solve for x and y, basically, but that's really it. And I don't get how to do anything at all.
Hi guys, my name is Billy, and this is my problem. It came from my math textbook on page 128, number 2. I brought it to tutorials because I have a quiz next class and I don't feel too prepared about it, so I want to give it a shot and have some practice before the quiz. So my original question was 3x plus 5 over 14 is equal to x over 3. I already know that I need to cross multiply, and I already know that I need to solve for x. Here's how I tried to solve my my equation, and now I'm a little concerned on whether I need to distribute 14 to both the 3x, the 5x, and the 3, or just distribute the 3 to the 3x plus 5.
My name is Colton Moore, and my problem came from my worksheet, number 2 of my worksheet. And I brought it to tutorial because I'm confused about it. My original question was, which ordered pairs of numbers in the solution is the answer? And they gave me A is 2, 3, B is 3, 2, C is 1, negative 2, and D is negative 3, 6. I already know that you have to plug in the numbers, and it deals with substitution. I also know that solution is an answer to a problem, and that systems are an algebraic problem containing numbers and variables. Here's how I tried to solve/answer my question. I tried to plug in my possible answers, and none of them come out to the right solution. So I put the multiple choice problems into the question. And my point of confusion is, if none of the ordered pairs fit, how do I get the solution of the system?
Okay guys, my name is Isabel Mason, and my problem came from my biology class. It was a classwork assignment that we had in there. And I brought it to tutorials because I was just confused about these certain 2 topics. My original question was, how can I tell the difference between photosynthesis and cellular respiration? I kind of already know that the equations are like opposites of each other, and I know that like in photosynthesis you use light, and in cellular respiration you use energy. But I've tried to make like a T-chart, but I feel like there's just not enough information in it. So my point of confusion came out to be to compare and contrast photosynthesis and cellular respiration.
My name is Jessica. My problem came from page 168, number 2. I'm confused about it. That's why I brought it to tutorial. My original question was, how can I find the nth term in the sequence? I already know that you're going to have to find the common denominator, and then you're going to multiply that number by the nth term. I've tried to solve my answer by finding the difference between each number in the sequence, and my point of confusion is, and I keep getting the wrong answer, so my point of confusion is if it's not what I'm finding as 8n, then what am I doing wrong and how can I correct this? What I would have done better is write down the actual sequence to the problem. That way my group can see what I'm actually talking about, and they'll get a better understanding of the terminology I'm using.
I don't have my notes or textbook to use as my resources. The suggestion that I have to this is to take a picture of your notes before you send it in to your teacher. That way you can get a good grade on your TRF and get a good grade on your notes for the class that you're submitting it to.
I don't have any questions. I mean, I have an A in all of my classes. Having heard your excuse, there's always something that you can work on to improve. If you truly believe that you know everything, ask your teachers for what you might be working on next week so that you can prepare for the future.
I already know the answer to my question. I don't want you to bring a question to tutorials that you already know the answer to. #know-it-all.
I don't want to go up because I already went up last week. #I'm too cool for school. You guys need to. You need to go up all the time because having your question answered is something that you should want to do. That's the point of tutorials. So if you went up last week, I see your point, but at the same time, that's beneficial for you. Now, regardless of whether you went up last week or not, you should want to go up all the time because your question needs to be answered. So, yeah.
Hearing on reflections that you didn't learn anything because you weren't in the presenter's class. If you don't have the class, then that's all the more reason why you should have learned something from the presenter.
A piece of advice that I have is it's much better to go over 30 seconds than under 30 seconds when giving your 30-second speech. It's better to read it from top to bottom, and that's how you can make sure that you have 30 seconds for sure. Hashtag 25 out of 25.
My piece of advice would be to check off each question in the reflection as you've answered them so that you don't forget to answer all the questions mentioned. Hashtag never forget.
And a piece of advice that I would like to say is if you're doing your TRF on a math question, in the critical thinking box, explain why you stopped filling out your problem. People always just write the question and they just stop, but explain why you stopped or what you've done.
My piece of advice is to be honest as to how much you know in the question and be as detailed as possible. That way we are able to help you on exactly what you need help on and not just the whole question. Hashtag keep an avid 100.
And remember, we're an avid family, so you need to look out for your friends and make sure they understand. And you should always learn something from them. Hashtag no new friends.
Yeah, I heard you started.
I know that.
Okay, so excuses. Wait, sorry.
Okay, what I would have done better.
Hashtag know it all.
Hashtag no new friends.